My name is Cari Orts, otherwise known as Techie Cari, and I am currently a GT teacher, and I also run our school's Makerspace.
All right, welcome to the show again.
Yay,
Cari.
third time.
Third time, that's right. First time was at TCCA, I want to say in Aldine, wasn't it?
No. Oh, yeah, was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then second time was last year here?
No, and then we did one during COVID.
Oh, shoot, fourth time.
Wow.
I don't even know.
Me neither.
Yeah, all right, sounds good. Well, you run Makerspace, right?
I do.
Okay. Before we get into the actual conversation, fishing and flamingos.
That is me.
Okay, all right.
That's my Instagram, and sadly there has not been a lot of fishing, but it's gonna go up.
Did you bring your poles or anything?
Nope.
No?
I know.
Really?
It's bad.
Oh man, I thought for sure you would have.
But we have recently moved, and so now we're closer to a constant level lake. So more
fluctuate
fishing.
as much.
So not like Lake Travis where it's like no water.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're on LBJ, so there will be more fishing,
Okay.
more content.
Sounds good.
That's the goal.
Good. More food.
Yes.
More fish in the old
Yes,
tummy. Yeah,
definitely.
Absolutely. I'm just going to slide past the fact that I said the word tummy on my podcast, but it is what it is. It is what it is. All right, so Makerspaces.
Yes.
They've been around for quite some time. What is your definition for a makerspace?
Well, I think the big word is problem solving. And it's a place where students can problem solve that's unlike the normal classroom.
Okay.
And I think that's like the only thing I'm going to say, because that's what it is.
Okay. I would have never gone with that definition.
No.
I would have gone more towards the creativity side, but I see, okay, and you are strongly disagreeing with me. I like it. Push back. All right, so from the okay, I'm in education. I've seen them. I've been a part of them. From the outsider looking in, somebody outside that window looking into a makerspace, there's no learning going on.
Yeah, they think it's chaos.
It's chaos.
Uh-huh.
What the hell are they doing with all that cardboard? Why do
Yes,
they need all that cardboard?
Yep.
So, talk us through a maker space. What is their purpose? What can someone see in there? What are some things that they don't see but are happening at the same time?
So I'll give you a perfect example. One of the schools that I work at, it's very rural. There's nothing around us, and we have like 2 places to eat. And so of course I was like,
and one of them's a Whataburger, probably, right?
No, we have a barbecue place and we have a food truck.
Okay.
Oh, and now we have a coffee stand, and that's it. And so I was like, hey guys, where do you go to eat after school? And they're like, oh, we go to the convenience store, and that's it, because that's the only thing that's open after school. And I was like, well, what if we could build our own restaurant that would fit our students and our teachers and our parents? And so we're building a business. First we did architectural plans, then we did area and perimeter. We snuck in there, we made menus. We talked about what food types go together well, and then we assigned furniture and so forth, and then we made miniature models of them, and then we brought in community members that own businesses and had them look at them and pick up ones that they thought that would be good for our area. So we snuck in like so many things, but they thought they were just building.
It sounds to me like you're walking through the design thinking process with the students.
100%.
Okay. All right. What grades?
Kinder through 5th. So of course, our kinder 1st and 2nd, I kind of make it a little bit easier, not so many details, but our big kids, we are just rolling with it. There's so many different aspects that they're conquering. And what the fun thing is that you find out who are the artistic kids, who are your analytical kids, who are your builders that can build anything from a piece of cardboard and some tape. And so they all kind of like slowly like find their zone where they're most comfortable. And of course, you're going to plan a lesson where it has all those different aspects so each kid can shine. And then you find your leaders. You find that kiddo that's like, hey, you should do this, you should do this, and you find the other kids that are just sitting back waiting for them to be told to do something.
Got it.
So many different things, like I said, that can't happen in the normal classroom happen there.
Okay. That's where the well-actuallys find each other, right? Well, actually, that's all right, buddy.
Yeah.
I need you to come over here and talk with this person over here. Okay, so I've seen makerspaces run in stations. I've seen them themed, where maybe every month or so there might be a theme or a challenge. How do you run your spaces, I should say?
I have 2 now.
Okay, and talk about the planning that's involved on your part to make those happen.
So one is a more established makerspace, and it's actually a specials rotation. So I'm getting to see those kids more often for a longer period of time. So we'll do longer projects like the restaurant. We built a ship that had all these different aspects, and then we were going to let them float in real water, but we didn't.
Okay.
So that one takes a lot of pre-thinking and pre-planning. We also connect it to our campus novel that we read, and then we showcase those at a family night. So that one is way more thought out. My other one is only 30 minutes once a month. Those kiddos get to see me. So we do a lot of make and take. So I give them a very short challenge, they make it, and then they take it home.
Okay.
And those are usually themed by, like the month. Like we had little cards for summer, for May, and it was like flip-flops, umbrellas, beach balls, everything you can think of for the summer that a kid would experience. And I encourage them to take 2 or maybe 3 of the cards and combine them and build something. So you've got a flip-flop shaped umbrella and so forth. So it just really depends on the time that you have. I love my bigger one because I get to really dive in deep and we get to build onto these projects for several weeks. But I also love the other one because it's short, it's fast, and it keeps them occupied really quickly. And the teachers love it because they don't even leave. They stay and they do it with the kids. So it just depends on your time and your space and your storage.
Okay. All right. So if I was to open that storage cabinet, closet, portable, whatever it is where you house your stuff, what sort of objects, items would I find in there?
So my big thing is I want kiddos to take the Makerspace things that they're making or the ideas, and I want them to take them home. So if you don't finish, you can go home.
Get them the heck out of here.
Well, it's more of a
show and tell.
If you don't finish, I want you to have the ability to go into your pantry or go into your recycle bin or whatever it may be and find other materials that you can add onto it.
Okay.
Because I want that learning to continue beyond my classroom, beyond
curiosity, learning.
Yes. And so, and I think that also helps them, they're stressed out because they're like, I can't finish in this amount of time. And so
oh my gosh,
you naturally say at the very beginning of each class period, don't worry, I'm sure you have supplies you can use at home to finish this.
Yeah.
So it's a way for me to extend beyond and to relieve stress because it can be stressful in a makerspace.
Yeah, I could imagine. Okay, so I open the closet. What's falling out?
Basic stuff. You've got your toilet paper rolls, you've got tape, you've got scissors. Nothing too crazy because at the beginning you don't want it to be too overwhelming for the kids and to purchase things, and so just your basic kind of craft supplies. Don't call a Makerspace crafts though because it's really annoying. It's a Makerspace, we're building, we're not crafting. Just pipe cleaners, buttons, just some random things that a lot of teachers clear out of their classroom because they don't have room for it.
Yeah.
And they send it to the Makerspace.
Okay.
And then you have your other side. So I have my consumable side, which the kids have access to all of that stuff. They do what they want with it. They can take it. They don't have to ask me. And then we have our non-consumables. So you've got your Spiros, you've got all your gadgets, your robots.
I see what you're saying.
Your Strawbees, and you could go on and on. So I kind of like to keep them separated. And they kind of know, this side of the room, I can go for it. They don't have to ask me to do it. And then the other side is more like, hey, we're going to use these to learn new concepts. And then they always stay in the Makerspace.
Okay. All right. So it's summer 2025. I'm not sure when people are listening to this episode. It could be 2029. Who knows? But if a teacher gets that call in July in the middle of their break saying, hey, remember that position that you had? We just changed it. Hey, you're going to be in charge of our Makerspace in less than a month. And then they start going into panic mode. What are some real quick projects, challenges, whatever you want to call them, that a teacher can take into a brand new Makerspace that are low resistance for both students and for the teacher to not have an anxiety attack, and at the same time not have to try to gather so many of those supplies that they might not have access to at any given point?
So I think one that we're going to do this year, and for those exact reasons, because it can be overwhelming, we're going to take our school mascot, which every school has a mascot, and we're going to say design a school mascot using cups, paper, and tape.
Cups, paper, and tape.
Like, I'm pretty sure we have all of that laying around.
Yeah.
You can go scrounge through some cabinet at your campus and
Go
you
ask
can
your
find
parents. I'm pretty sure they got red Solo cups all from the entire summer.
Or those little bitty tiny Dixie cups, you know, that you get at the dentist or whatever.
Oh, that's right.
And then what the cool thing about Makerspace is you're going to give them like the minimum. Like, I need a mascot. It needs 4 legs, and then you leave it as that.
Okay, I'm glad you said that. So you do have like a baseline.
Yes, I always have a baseline because I want to have an expectation.
Okay.
It's either like just I write it on the board, it's a simple checklist, but I always want them to meet some standard. And the cool thing is they always go above it. So, you know, a kid will say, okay, I've got the 4 legs, now I'm going to add this, and I'm going to add this, and I don't have to ever say, you know, it just naturally happens. And that's why I love the Makerspace as well, because you're setting a standard, and they're just going to blow it out of the water, and that gives them that confidence and that, you know, feeling of like accomplishment.
Yeah.
And so it just naturally happens, and I love that.
Okay. All right. So cups, paper, tape. Something as simple as that.
Markers.
Okay. On the student perspective, for those guys, Ms. Orts, how am I going to be graded? Is there a rubric? Do you have any sort of criteria other than you have to meet the baseline?
So I just have a checklist. I don't ever grade anything in the Makerspace because I think that kind of takes away from it.
Okay.
And I think,
glad you said that.
And I think that the learning naturally happens when they try to tape something to a cup and it doesn't stay, and they're like, oh, that didn't work. And I'm like, well, what can you do now? I don't ever want to have to grade it. That's yucky.
Okay. That's yucky.
I do want a checklist though that says like we did all of these things, and they see that and they write their names next to it so they know who's doing it. But I think naturally they just know. And like I've seen the disappointment, like when we are completely out of time, we've been doing this for 3 weeks, and it's like, okay guys, like this is it, we're no more. And then they look at their project, they look at their checklist, and you just see that like. And like, I think that's enough. I think that once they experience that one time, they're like, never letting that happen again.
Yeah.
So.
But you almost feel like they have to go through that at least one time.
Oh, and it's hard because there are tears. I mean, it's like, oh, can I please just come back and recess? Can I? And I'm like, nope. And I said, take this as a learning experience. When your parents come to see your project, you can say, this is what we didn't get done because we were talking in XYZ.
Yeah.
Or just take this feeling inside and go, I'm not going to let this happen next time. Next time I'm going to say, you need to work on this, you need to work on this, and I'm going to help be a leader and distribute, you know, the work instead of just stand around.
Got it. You know what it reminds me of? Those like baking competition shows where they have to make this elaborate cake, and then for some reason the producers decided, hey, you got to take that and move it 6 feet over here to this table. And then when they go to move it and it just collapses, and just that, I'm not even on the set, but when that happens, I could feel it. And I'm like, oh, and that's pretty much what happens in the classrooms too,
exactly,
right?
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. Do you have one of those moments you could share with us?
We'll just like you know, we do a cardboard carnival every year.
Okay.
For our math night, and you know the projects look so great and they work fine, you know, in the Makerspace, and then we put them on a cart to transfer them, you know, just down the hall to the gym, and they just.
Oh.
But you know what? It's happened so many times, and the kids are like, I'm not worried about it. I put it together. I know how to put it back together. And I was like, okay.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's just...
And there's your problem solving.
It's such a cool environment because, like, normally that would be, like, total meltdown time. I don't ever do this project again. And they're just like, no, I put it together. I know how to do it. And it's like, okay.
Okay. All right. How many years have you been doing this again?
Too many. Let's see. Oh, gosh, I don't even know. When I became an instructional technologist, I think that was 10 years ago. You know, I started researching all the different things instructional technologists do, and Makerspace was always, you know, at the top of the list. We made like carts that we took to campuses, and it just never really took off. And then one of my colleagues, she wrote this huge grant for a Makerspace, and I came in to take over her position after she went on maternity leave, and then I just kind of like ran with it. So like really doing the Makerspace like for real has been like 5-6 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
5-6 years. Wow. Okay. I think I remember the first time I heard Makerspace. This must have been about between 8 to 10 years ago in Arizona, we had these like learning labs that really were nothing more than a computer lab that they called a learning lab, and then they wanted to do something else with them. And I heard the term, it might have been at a conference, and I heard the term Makerspace, and I think someone explained it just kind of like you said was taboo, like a crafting station.
Oh.
And I thought, oh, okay, that's cool. I can see that, but apparently that's a no-no.
No.
In the Makerspace world.
No. Because I think crafting is like everyone's project looks exactly the same and they're all getting to the same end project. And like, I never want to see that happen. I want every kid's to be totally different. I want it to be from their perspective, their design style. And so that's why I don't like crafting.
Okay.
We do use craft supplies, but we're not crafting.
Okay. The school mascot project that you were talking about, that's the one with the cups,
Tape.
and
Paper.
I almost forgot. Let's just say that I was fortunate enough to be assigned a makerspace next year. Okay, I'm tapping that because I'm not sure I'm built for that yet. But if I was to take that project as a teacher and try to facilitate that with my students, would the best approach be individual, partner, or small group?
I think at the beginning, this is a tough one.
It's Monday morning.
Is it? I don't even know what it is.
Well, it's not morning, I forgot. It's afternoon.
It depends. I think when you're first starting individual, because it's really hard at the beginning for kids to work cooperatively and build something and complete it. So at the beginning, just individual, and what they're naturally going to do, I saw that you did it that way. They're going to look around, and as the facilitator, I'm like, I love how you added the tape this direction, So I'm facilitating and saying out loud cool things that I'm seeing, so that way they're learning. But as you go through, you really have to do group work because it just brings in so many skills that they're not getting normally. That collaboration, the problem solving together. I didn't think it would be such a big deal, but like just learning to say, I'm going to work on this, you work on this. We've had so many discussions in the Makerspace, like if you're both working on the same thing, what happens to the item number 2? That if you're both working on item number 1, and then I said, you're sad because you didn't finish your project, but no one ever worked on item number 2, you all worked on number 1. So, as an adult, like that, well, whatever, you do this, you divvy up the work, but they just don't have that skill set. So we spend a lot of time on talking about how can we divide up the work evenly. It's just something silly, but I see it over and over again.
Interesting. I would have naturally gone to independent. Yeah, because of that. But I could see someone trying to go, like right out the gate doing a 4-person makerspace, and I think that can fall flat pretty quickly.
Yes.
And not only kind of deflate the students, but also a new teacher assigned to makerspace that could potentially just curb their enthusiasm for the rest of the semester or what have you.
And you also have to set the scene too. Like you don't want it to be chaos the first time you go in there, because then the next time they come in like, this is the chaos room.
This is the norm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you really got to set that standard from the beginning. And the cool thing is, I've been doing it, for 5 years at one of my campuses. So my 4th and 5th graders have been doing it since kinder. And, is my short explanation. They know and they roll with it.
Okay.
And it's so cool to see the kids that have progressed through it and that are doing it. And, when we have new students come in, they just take them in. And they're like, okay, guys, this is where everything's at. Let's go. So that's been the best part for me, is to see the kids that have been doing it for several years and how what I think they're going to build, and it just succeeds, and it's amazing.
Wow. That's pretty cool. I'd love to actually see this in action. Maybe I could take a field trip one day and check this out.
You should. You can film it and everything.
Yeah, that would be cool. Ooh, you just gave me an idea. All right. How can people connect with you and maybe reach out because, hey, they just got that.
Yeah.
They woke up to that text from their principal saying, hey, girl, guess what you're doing in August?
Yeah, right. So you can go to my website, which is Cari, and it's CARI.com. Or you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, X, whatever we're calling it now.
Twix,
that's right. And that's Cari as well. And then, So that's me. And I'd love to answer any questions. I have some great ideas. I actually have like a whole folder on Google that's public that I can just shoot anyone the link and say, here, take all my ideas.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Well, I would personally like to thank you for being, number one, being a part of the show, but also for everything that you're contributing to our educational space, everything you're doing for our students, our teachers, and focusing on that problem solving and the creativity and the collaboration and just everything that goes on with a makerspace, because it's not a part of the 4 content areas. Mm-hmm. And if it's not a part of the 4 content areas, people just kind of brush it under the rug. Mm-hmm. It's not important enough. Mm-hmm. And that's not the case, because students will find their niche, they'll find their passion through things like a makerspace. And
I have found so many kiddos, because I'm a GT teacher also, and kiddos that I would have never tested, I see what they're building in the makerspace, and I'm like, hold on a second. And, and I will test them, and they score crazy, and I'm like, I would have never known if it hadn't been for the makerspace.
Yeah.
So
that didn't come out in math, science,
nope.
social studies, or English language arts.
Nope.
Wow.
And then, like special populations, I see them in the makerspace building. I have a ton of dyslexic kiddos that, like you said, in the normal classroom, they're not excelling, they're not sharing out loud. And then you see them in the makerspace build something out of this world, and you're like, hold on, this is a really special kid. I need to dig deeper into them and see if they're gifted or if I can facilitate something with them. And that's one of the best things about it, is you kind of tap into those kids you would have never really put any time and energy into, and you see them build, and then you build them up with their teachers and show their teachers what they're doing. And same with behavior kiddos.
Oh man.
So
yeah,
it's a cool place, and I'm so thankful that both of my schools have it, and just going to keep rolling with it and adding more things and doing more great things with it.
Sounds good. Well, you're getting the $1 million question one more time. I know you've been asked this at least 2, if not 3 more times, but I got to ask again: corn tortilla or flour tortilla, Cari?
Oh, can I do the mix ones?
You could do it. Go for it.
I'm on the, what are they called? Mixla?
Mixta?
Yeah. The half and half. Mm-hmm. I just like the consistency.
Yeah. You either like the consistency or you don't like it, because it could be a little gummy. Even if you
That's true.
cook it. One of my kids, I think it's one of my 2 boys, they're like,
Yeah, my daughter doesn't like the mixed one. She's all flour. But right now, today, I'm on the mix.
Okay, sounds good. What's on the inside of that mixed? Chicken, steak, pork, what are we talking about?
Right now,
cheese?
Pork belly.
Ooh.
Chopped up from the grill. Cannot get any better.
And the fat is just crisped. And,
yeah, you got to have it crispy. You can't have it. You have to have it crispy.
I just salivated.
Little cilantro, onion. Now I'm going to have to go home and make it.
All right, sounds good. Make it in a makerspace.
Yeah, we'll make fake tacos.
Yeah. Sounds good. Well, thank you. I appreciate you and everything you do. And, we'll see each other at another conference and catch up on some tacos. And thank you for being a part of the show yet again.
Yay.